everyone, my name is Ripley and today we're building the James Turner Tower Shell Challenge. I almost forgot it. The Tower Shell Challenge that he posted a few weeks ago now. I've been meaning to get to it and I finally got to get to it today, which was really fun and really nice. I've been feeling kind of uninspired to build lately. I've been trying some different stuff. I've been doing some build challenges and that kind of stuff. I don't know how well you guys like that. But I just kind of been feeling super tired at just building. So with this shell, I took the liberty to just throw in whatever I wanted and build whatever I wanted, and didn't really care about it looking pretty or nice, or even, I don't know how functional this build is even. I just did what I wanted to do and I didn't really concern myself with making it look pretty or making it look a certain way. Even if this had ended up looking horrible, I would still have posted it. Although I do think that it ended up looking pretty cute at the end, or I do like some of the details that I did. I did also buy the Journey to Batuu pack for this build just because I wanted some of the items that came with Journey to Batuu, and I think that they really fit into this build, just the entire vibe that I was going for with this build. And I think that I was kind of pleasantly surprised with how much I actually liked the items in this pack. I don't know how much I would use it in a normal build. I think that the decor in this pack actually could be very useful, but overall the doors and the windows and that kind of stuff I don't think would be super useful for me in the future. But I still think I'm happy that I bought this pack because I ended up using a lot of Batuu in this build, a lot more than I originally wanted or had planned, I guess. In the beginning I was thinking that I wanted a lot of Realm of Magic and Stranger Will and Batuu and throw those 3 packs into this build as our main packs, but in the end, although I used some Realm of Magic and I used some Stranger Will, the pack is mainly Batuu, which is fine. I actually had a really fun time building this, which was the entire point. I've been feeling super tired of this building, so I wanted to have a fun build to just do because I wanted to do it. And I think that this build actually did really make me more inspired to build again. So that's a good thing, that's what I wanted with this build. I did also find these rocks which came with Journey to Batuu that I'm just lining the sides of this hill with. I really wanted to have this hill be more decorated. We do have some dirt coming through at certain places, but overall I just kind of wanted to have more of a texture and more detail around this place, using a lot of the rocks of the rock formations that came with Batuu as well as some stone escape ones. And yeah, I think that's about it, and then just a little bit here and there. I did use quite a few packs in this build. I don't know exactly how many, but for once I don't think that this is a house that anyone will really want, so I think that it's fine that I did use a lot of packs. I do also have a little cutout, as you can see in the terrain back there, which wasn't originally there in James's build, but I cut it out because I wanted to have a little bit of a secret area out there. As well, in the beginning I wanted that to be more of a Realm of Magic kind of area, which it didn't turn out to be that at all. I will be building it later, so I will check on that later. But now I'm using more of these Batuu rocks, which I really like. I think they're so pretty, and I think that I will definitely use them in landscaping, because I think I use them a lot in this build, and I think they look really nice. The texture and everything is just stunning. I just love these rocks so much. And I think they're debug rocks because they're so big. But they're just super pretty. And then I'm just throwing in a lot of landscaping. As you will see, as I'm placing the landscaping, a lot of it will be floating. I do use tool mode later on to go through and try to put everything down to the ground. I don't know if I got everything. I think I got everything, but some things might still be floating, which I don't really think is such a big deal, as this was more a getting me inspired again kind of build. I'm just just covering the entire lot with landscaping. I used these I think there are trees that came with Get to Work, these red ones. They're the alien trees, which I've never really had any use for until now, I guess. And I think they gave a really nice pop of color. And something else that I did notice when I did the landscaping is that trees that are usually giant, they were really small in comparison with this build. Of course, with this build being the terrain itself is 4 stories tall, how you would imagine 4 stories to be built. And then you have the build itself is also 4 stories tall, with the tallest wall height. So this is a really tall build, which comes with some issues, especially when you start building inside. Because what happens when you build higher up is the camera gets more like sensitive, I would say, and it jumps around a lot more. I try to cut it out as much as possible so the camera don't go up and down all the time, but it might still be a couple times here and there in the video where I might have missed that. It's a little bit annoying, but I think that it wasn't like unmanageable. Like sometimes the camera gets stuck or sort of things, but I think that for this build being so tall, it actually went a lot better than I would have expected it to. I'm just throwing in some other stuff here. A lot of stuff from Get to Work. Those like, I think those mushrooms were from Get to Work. Those like alien mushrooms again. I don't really know what the theme is with this build exactly. We do have like, a lot of Batuu on the inside, but on the outside, like we have a lot of different type of like landscaping from different types. We have some exotic landscaping, some more like Mediterranean, some like snowscapes, so like Japanese, and some like more like European. So I mean, in reality, none of these landscaping will go together. Like some or a lot of it will die, but it's the themes, and I just kind of threw in what I felt like, so I think it's fine. And at this point, I think it's when I really started to go crazy with the Batuu stuff. I just kind of threw in everything I wanted and just kind of checking it, just seeing, like going through all the new stuff and seeing what we got. I am not a very like avid Star Wars watcher. Like I know like the basic stuff of Star Wars, but I'm not like super crazy about it, so I just kind of plunked down stuff without really knowing what they were. So if I'm doing something that seems incredibly inaccurate, then I'm sorry, but I just kind of had fun with it. I really like these vents that we got as well that you can put on the wall. I really like this pack as well. I could imagine doing a lot of like industrial stuff and like older like run down stuff with this pack as well, which I would like to do, maybe some like industry or something, like an old, like building like an old factory or something like that. I think would be really fun. I also did this fun thing, I don't know if I've done it yet, but I used the plane from Stationville to have it like crash into the mountain. I think I'm doing it in a second. I also put in this like antenna, which was more when I was still going for like a lot of Stationville in this build. I also used the thing from Realm of Magic with the floating stuff. Again, I hadn't really fully set on just Batuu yet. Like I was still in the mindset, oh, I'm gonna have some Realm of Magic, I'm gonna have some Stranger Will. So I think that the outside is more like a mix, whilst the inside ended up just being like Batuu. And then we have this area up here, which I didn't really know what to do with. I kind of designed this as being like, again with the Realm of Magic stuff, being more like a magical kind of like summoning circle, but then I end up in the end throwing in a lot of Batuu stuff, so I don't really know what this area is supposed to be like. And then you also saw me putting in that airplane on the side there as well. I thought it really fit in. I thought it looks really cool to have it there like being just like embedded in the mountain, which I think, and I also love that plane. I think it's really well made, and then like the texture and everything of it is so amazing. And I sat for a while and just looked at it. I was like, oh, this is such a good. I thought, oh, this is such a good plane. I really like it. But now I'm just doing some final stuff outside. I'm just kind of just messing around, putting in a lot of stuff. I think we're about to jump into the interior maybe. I really like these cables that came with this pack, with the Batuu pack. I didn't really get a lot of opportunities to use them, but I really think that they will be nice clutter items for certain builds. Oh no, I'm doing this area now, which I didn't really know what to do with this. At first I wanted it to be like more Realm of Magic, kind of like we would have like a cauldron and that kind of stuff. But then as I started to go more or lean more towards the Batuu stuff, I just kind of ended up throwing out a lot of the stuff from Batuu that I thought would be fun to use out here. Just kind of like an extension of the interior of the house. And then I also ended up putting in the mother from Stationville. So yeah, this build ended up being a little bit chaotic, I would say. I just kind of threw in whatever, and I actually am kind of happy that I didn't really lock myself to just do one thing or just having it look like good or whatever. I did at first put in that little stem, but then I actually found the mother herself. There she is, and she's just sitting out here just like watching over the build, I guess. Moving on the inside, The inside is very like dark. I used a lot of like black and dark browns and that kind of stuff. I actually really like how this kitchen turned out. This is not really the normal style I would go with, but I think it ended really cool. I used that fridge from Cottage Living. I also used the stove from the Country Kitchen kit. I just didn't want to go too modern in the kitchen. I wanted it to be more like, I guess rustic, but then as we moved up to like the living era, we did end up going more modern. So like I didn't really stick to, well, I would say I still stuck to this like rustic, more like industrial style with some like modern extensions here and there. Just like as a nice area for your Sims to live. I actually don't know how like functional any of these spaces are. This hasn't been playtested, so just know that it hasn't been playtested if you want to download this. This is up on my gallery right now. I think I called it like Chaotic Batuu Tower or something like that. It's on my gallery. My gallery ID is Riipleys. That's Ripley with 2 eyes and the S on the end. If you want to get it for some reason. But I'm gonna show in stuff. I put a fruitcake on the bar over there, and we all on the island, and then I actually ended up putting in the bar from Batuu. I think it actually fits really well in here. I didn't really exactly know what I wanted to do. I did know that I wanted to make it more like a residential lot, but so I just kind of started doing what I normally do, which is the kitchen at first. This is a very like tiny, or like it's a very like slim and tall build, which means that everything is like divided on its own floor. Like the kitchen is on one floor, then you have like the bedroom and toilet, and then you have like living area, and then there's like an office, and then you have like the outdoor on the roof space, and everything is very far apart. Which is always like the downside with living in like a house like this in The Sims. It's like your Sims have to like climb up and down, and it takes forever. Not to mention that this is the tallest wall height on all the levels, so it would take even longer for the Sims to climb up and down. And moving to the bedroom, I used a lot from the industrial kit pack, which I haven't been able to use a lot of the industrial kit pack so far, just because I think the build kits in particular is kind of tricky to work with when you like build for other people, just because like those are usually bought by like the people that build by the build packs and the people that don't. So if I build for someone who don't build, then I wouldn't have the kit, so I couldn't really use the kit. But I don't know if that makes any sense, but I really wanted to use it in here, so I did, and I actually really like that bed. I think that bed also went really well with the style that I was going for. For the bathroom, I guess I wanted it to be more like industrial. You can see I used that sanitizing shower from Get to Work. I used very like dark grey, like the toilet and the sink. That's a very like industrial sink as well. I also used that hand towel that was like brown, because I would imagine it's been used a lot and it's like really dirty. I just thought that was like a fun idea to do. Then we put in a lot of like flowers and that kind of stuff just to decorate it a little bit more. Then we move up to the living area, which I used the new Batuu couches in here as well as the Eco Living one. I think that the Eco Lifestyle couch really has that kind of like same vibe, or goes with the vibe that we were going for. It has that kind of like rustic look. I also ended up using 2 of the new Batuu coffee tables and put them together to make it look bigger. And I think it ended up looking really nice. I think that TV is from Get Famous, I think. I used size down ones, and I thought it actually really fit in very well. I was a little bit unsure if I wanted to add a TV, because all the TVs looks very modern and very like, I don't know, they really fit the style, but I thought that I'm calling it the Get Famous one, I'm not quite sure, but I think that it is Get Famous, and I thought that it actually went really well with what I was going for. I also put in the table that you can like play. I don't know exactly what it is that they play on it, but it is from like Batuu. You can play it in Batuu as well. So I put it in here just for decoration's sake and for Sims to have some fun. I also think that I added in maybe a little bit too many plants in this room. I think I went a little bit too crazy with the plants that I added. So it could have been a little bit less, but I thought it was fun. Just decorating a lot with the Batuu stuff. But then we move up to the office area, which I did kind of struggle with. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do in here, and I guess the shape was a little bit weird, and it's like, oh, I don't really know what to do. I did change it around quite a bit. I ended up putting in this little area in the middle here, which kind of I want it to be more like I guess it's more like a meeting area where you would like talk with all the people, and you would like gather around it, I guess. I also had that in this desk and the chair I got from I think it's from the secret agent career that you get those. I thought that you kind of fit in here. Also a computer, I think it's very useful if you would opt to live here for some reason. And then we just use a lot of Batuu stuff again. I really like those like sharing that they got, as well as just kind of like throwing in whatever looks cool. We also had those tables from Stranger Wheel where you have those little experiments. I ended up removing one of them and just keeping the other because I thought it was a little bit too much. In the end, I think that the main goal with this build was just to make it look cool. How accurate anything is and stuff like that, I didn't really care. I just wanted it to look kind of cool and just kind of like play around with the game and just do whatever I wanted. Just essentially just doing whatever I thought would look cool or interesting, especially what I wanted with this build. Just to get to mess around with it a little bit and not really having any type of like pressure on myself to make it look good. Just kind of doing whatever I wanted. For the upstairs here, I just kind of moved some things around. I didn't change too much, and then I just added in a lot of lights in here. But with that said, we're about to jump into the tour, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very, very soon. Ripley out.